Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on CW11.
And welcome to this edition of Home Track Heroes. Steve Mortland here, and to my left, as always, Tom Glithero. And Tom, an absolutely beautiful day this past Saturday. A lot of great car counts. Weather was phenomenal. The racing was pretty good too.
No, you're right, and this is a time of the year where racing gets a little bit more fun because you can see the end of it. You know, the points are starting to effort their way out. You can see who's on top, who's got a chance to win that championship, and it's just one more thing to race for.
It is, and it's going to be a pretty exciting end to the season, but we got a long ways to go with it. What we've got coming up for you on this edition of Home Track Heroes are Buzz-In Steakhouse Stinger 8s. They'll be first up with their main event. Our Evergreen Legends are here. A phenomenal car count for the Evergreen Legends. Northwest Motorsports Street Stocks in action this afternoon. The NASCAR Mini Stocks are here. And the Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late Models, 75 laps coming up. We're going to head down to Kyler Hope in just a few seconds for an interview. But real quick, Tom, the Pro Late Models, the young people have really come up to the top.
You're right, and they're kind of taking it over. It's going to be interesting to see how long the veterans allow these young kids to rule the roost.
Yep, it is. Let's go down and see what Kyler's drummed up.
Down here with Mike Jensen, the 521 mini stock. It's a really, really hot day out here. Probably one of the hottest we've had. Does it make the track that much more slicker with these little tires?
I think it does, yeah. I mean, the tires are really good this year. I mean, they seem to last a long time, and they seem to come in. The more laps you put on them, the better they are.
What's the trickiest part of getting around this 3/8 mile in a mini stock?
Well, for me, I'm new to the class, and just learning the car, hitting my marks, where to roll on the gas and the brake, or brake and throttle, and but I'm figuring it out. Obviously, the corners are the tricky part.
Is today the day that Mike Jensen parks in victory lane?
Man, I sure hope so. Stanford's fast, but all I can do is just go as hard as I can. And in practice we broke a tranny, had to swap out a tranny today, clutch everything, and went back out and won the heat race. So the car's good, and these guys that are helping me, they're the best. I mean, I couldn't do it without them.
Mike Jensen hoping to take the 521 to victory lane in the mini stock main event. Down here with Wyatt Gardner, and you've been behind the wheel of the number 3 super late model for quite a few years, but now it's a pro late model. How much different is that trying to wheel that around Evergreen Speedway?
The 3/8 is tough no matter what kind of car you're in, but these pro late models are definitely a challenge. Obviously with the treaded tires compared to the 30-35, it's a lot different. But one thing I do see is that the pack's a lot closer together now, and that's what we want to see. We want to see good, hard racing, and definitely I don't think I've had to drive as hard as I have in these last couple of races in my whole career. We really got to be up on the wheel to keep these things under us.
Yeah, you've driven tracks all over the country, and what makes the 3/8 of Evergreen Speedway so unique?
I've always said if you can run good on the 3/8 here at Evergreen, you can pretty much run good anywhere. Definitely into 1. I mean, 3 and 4 is pretty standard, but getting into 1 on the flat, it's almost negative banking, and then you kind of have to go up the hill. Like you said, I've run a lot of tracks, and I think my experience here at Evergreen's really helped me go to those other tracks and be a little more competitive. We're hoping to have a good run tonight, though.
Wyatt Gardner looking to take his experience up to the top of the leaderboard in today's race. Down here with defending series champion Cody Hoops, but you're not behind your blue number 10 tonight. You're behind Dawson Cox's 7D. What's the story behind that?
Dawson's running late models today, and he didn't really want to take on both. I don't blame him. Late models are a lot cooler. So he asked me to drive this, and I'd rather drive that than tote my car all the way down here and do all that. So arrive and drive sounded pretty good to me.
What's going to happen if you end up wrecking his car tonight? How's that conversation go between you two?
I'd be pretty bummed. I think he'd be pretty bummed, but he wrecks cars more than I do. So, not to jinx it or anything, I think we're going to be all right.
Cody Hoops looking to take Dawson Cox's 7D to victory lane. Down here at Jesse Jensen, the wheelman of the 3 street stock, and obviously a couple weeks ago, some drama happened in this series, so a lot of hard racing, and then a few words afterwards with the 44. What kind of choked down in your eyes?
It was just hard racing during the main event, which kind of led into some extracurricular activity on both of our parts after the race. You're racing out there, you're passionate about what you do. It's really easy to get out of control with your temper, which I did. Not the best move on my part, really on either one of our parts. It just you know, he wanted to win, and he felt like I didn't help him get to that win, which, you know, I definitely wasn't doing anything intentionally. But yeah, we talked it out 2 weeks ago after the races, and Mike's a good guy. You know, I really respect him. I know he's been doing this a long time, and he wants that first win, and maybe he'll get it tonight. We'll see.
So moving forward to tonight, it's a very hot and slick track today. Is that going to add a little bit more of a curveball to the car tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime it's hot and slick like it is today, I was hoping it wouldn't be, but it definitely is. It just, anytime you have lack of grip, when you're right on that edge and you barely touch a guy, it doesn't take much, and you know they've lost everything they've already have. So yeah, it'll be a fun night.
Jesse Jensen will be searching for grip all night in the Street Stock main event.
All right, Kyler, thank you very much. Let's get right into it. Our Buzzin' Stingers 8 lineup, and it will be in the 13A on the front row, Tyler Draper. Outside of Tyler, in the number 40, Andrew Reinders. In the 23 is Jim Mackey. Outside of Jim, in the 42K is Tayden Ireland. Zach Bristol in the 007, and carrying one of our in-car cameras tonight, the number 2 of Gary Reardon.
In that fourth row inside, it'll be the 43 car of Damon Claiborne, all the way over from Eniat. Outside of him in the 04 will be Jason Miller, who won heat race number 1. And in the back row, the 7D, as we heard earlier, Cody Hoops. He'll have an in-car camera. And rounding out the field for a Buzz-In Steakhouse Stinger 8s, it'll be Lucas Humphreys in the 31 car.
All right, thank you, Tom. And green flag is out. We are underway. 30 laps for our Buzz-In Steakhouse Stinger 8 tonight. A little bit of... I like that number 40 car of Andrew Reinders, who just really got a nice run on Tyler Draper as they came out of turn 2. You see they run from the south, or the north to the south. They've just completed one lap there, and coming down into turn number 1. Angel of the Winds is our presenting sponsor tonight. They are one of the absolute premier partners out here at Evergreen Speedway. We're sure very, very fortunate to have them aboard with us in 2020, as we have in many years past. So thanks a lot to all the people at the Angel of the Winds Resort, and they are just outside of Arlington. We have got one lap in the books, as they say. It is Andrew Reinders in the 40 car in the lead, followed by Tyler Draper, Zach Bristol in that 007 car in the 3rd spot. Jim Mackey in the 23 car is being shown. Phenomenal drone shot.
Absolutely great shot. You can see exactly what that figure 8 track is like a little bit later on. Hopefully we'll have some great intersection action.
You know, I was watching what we did last week, and you and I just absolutely geeking out over this shot. It was so close. And I remember commenting, like, if people can't tell we haven't seen this before, there's something wrong. But it was just an amazing, amazing shot. Look at Zach Bristol all over the back bumper of Tyler Draper in the 13A there. Let's see if Tyler can hold him off. Gary Reardon putting a little bit of pounding on the back of the 007 of Bristol, and Reardon taking a look on the inside. Let's go inside. Cody Hoops in the 7D.
He's headed down into the right-hand corner. You can see them. I mean, as he comes off this one, he's got to make a quick look to his left. If you've got a car on your left side, how do you see if someone's coming through the intersection?
Boy, he is really working that wheel. I'm dying to know what that thing is hanging down there just above his right knee. Must be an air freshener, you know. Every car's got to have one. Great battle side by side coming out of turn number 2 with Zach Bristol up on the outside. Gary Reardon with that preferred line going into turn number 3. We'll see if he can get around him, and he just has a bit of a nose out there. Zach Bristol hanging in there tough. Good battle for that 4th and 5th spot.
You're right, and Andrew Reiner's just out there driving away right now as we go in car with Gary Reardon. He's got a car to his right. Quick one to look to the left, goes through the intersection, down into the left-hander. As he comes off this turn, he's going to take a quick look inside. He'll take a look at the flagman right there. As he goes through the intersection, he'll make sure there's nobody coming from his right, because if he forgets to look, it could hurt.
Yeah, we almost was able to get a phone number. We might be able to get it right here on this shot. If you're interested in that 007 card, you might be able to pick the phone number up there, give Zach Bristol a call. He'd love to talk to you about it. And seriously, if you wanted to get into this division, because it looks like so much fun, that 007 car, which is alongside, there it is, off to the right. That'd be a good one to have because Zach Bristol really knows how to put them together.
You're right, and this is a great division. Doesn't cost tons and tons of money.
That's right.
Little 4-cylinder cars, and they just have a blast doing this, out here each and every week.
They do. We are working lap number 11. 10 has gone by. It is still the 40 of Andrew Reinders in the number 1 position. Tyler Draper having a really impressive race in the 13A. Zach Bristol, as you saw, really had to work to get around Gary Reardon, but also now tucked on the inside is Cody Hoops in the 7D.
A great 4-car battle right there as they're going through the intersection.
Look at that wad coming out at turn number 2 there. Tyler Draper hanging on. Cody Hoops trying to line up down on the inside with Zach Bristol tucked off to his right hand. Gary Reardon right in the middle of that. That is a phenomenal shot as we are in lap number 13, coming up on the halfway point for our Buzz Inn Steakhouse Stingray main event on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here at Evergreen Speedway.
Cody Hoops in that 7D car, normally driven by Dawson Cox. Looks like he's kind of figured that car out a little bit. He took his time moving his way forward, but he just passed about 3 cars right there as he heads off, looking for those top guys. But right now, it's all Andrew Reinders in the 40-car, man, just doing a great job of heading through that intersection right there into the left-hander.
Cody Hoops now solidly in that 2nd spot as he has gotten around Zach Bristol in the 007. Let's go back inside with Gary and see what he's doing. And boy, you can get an idea. He's got that camera mounted off the side of his helmet, checking to the right. Don't see him quite looking to the left. We'll check that out when he comes by. This time, nothing coming through on his left. And looks in the back end of, oh, look at that. We
a
almost
little
saw him
push,
go
a little
around.
shove, huh?
Getting by the 04 of Jason Miller there.
Look at his helmet. His helmet's actually moving. You can see him looking left, looking right, checking as he goes through that intersection. You can actually see his helmet moving. He's got that visor up just a little bit, getting a little bit of fresh air into him.
Boy, look at Cody Hoops as we are working the latter half of this Buzz Inn Stakeout main event.
Whoa.
Nice move, Zach. Cody Hoops gonna be getting all over the back end of Andrew Reinders. I think Andrew's best race of the year so far.
You bet. You bet. And let's just kind of keep an eye on that intersection. There seemed to be business is picking up, as they say.
Oh, we almost had one go around. He saw the brakes lock up on it as Gary Reardon got underneath. And look at, boy, Reardon really made a nice move coming out of turn number 4 that time. Cody Hoops now is taken over by about a car length.
Steve, we've talked about this earlier in shows, but once you go to that intersection, you can't, change your rhythm. If you all of a sudden just burp that throttle a little bit, that guy's going to hit you because he's planning on you going through there at full speed. So once you've committed to go through, you got to just do it like, you can't even see anybody else coming, because if you change your mind at the last minute, it may be too late.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling what I'm about to say might sound, well, let's be honest, kind of dumb. But the way that Cody drives, he's kind of letting that thing drive itself. He's really light on the steering wheel. He's just, it's really impressive watching how his hands work. He'll let go of the wheel, it'll kind of slide around.
Man, he's cutting it closer and closer through that.
Certainly
but
is.
Part of that is his comfort as a race car driver. That gripping of the wheel makes your arms tired and everything kind of, you fatigue yourself way before your time. So he's got that thing figured out. A nice light touch on the wheel, very relaxed in there, probably controlling his breathing. And, by the time he gets done, he won't be that tired.
Dawson Cox may have a problem on his hand. Cody may not want to give that car back. And he is really out in front. Look at this battle for the 2nd spot. Andrew Reinders on the inside. Zach Bristol working him hard up on the outside for that 2nd spot. Gary Reardon looking good in position number 4. Damon Claiborne having a nice solid run. Here is we're going to come up on 7 laps to go to finish out our main event. Oh, this ought to be good.
Right there.
Look at that. Oh,
well, and as I say, you get racing against that guy in front of you, the guy that's alongside of you, and you forget where you are on the racetrack. You start going through that intersection. That'll change the outcome quite frequently.
It will remind you real quick. I'm absolutely loving this battle for 2nd spot with Cody Hoops, with Zach Bristol in the 007. Andrew Reinders having the race of his year, I think. hanging in tough in that second spot as Cody puts another lap down. I think he's kind of went after a guy that time. He didn't need to make that thing move to the left, but he did, and that's what makes it fun. Here, look at this. Oh, boy.
You remember what he said? It's
so
not
cool.
my race car.
That's right.
He gets wrecked. Dawson wrecks more race cars than I do, I think
And he never
said.
did
So
say if he was going to
we'll
come
see.
over and help fix it either.
No,
I
he
noticed
didn't.
that. I noticed that. But let's see how it goes. We got 5 laps to go to wrap up the...
Man, a great battle between
Isn't it?
Reinders and Zach Bristol. Those guys are just going at it, not hardly touching each other. I'm sure they're both smiling.
Oh, they got to be. And Zach finally got around Reinders in that 40 car. And Andrew should be dropping down into that 3rd spot when they come across the timing loop. Yep, he does. So it'll be 3 laps to go as we pick up Cody, and just did cross the start-finish line. You see the flagman down in that trio of Uke tires there, just out of turn number 4. And this ought to be good. No, not so much. Come on, guys.
He didn't hit him. He didn't tick him.
You can do better than that. Let's go.
Some great battles up going on right now. There's some intersections.
Yeah.
So cost a couple of spots when they lifted. Otherwise, they were going to wreck as they came through.
White flag should be coming out next time by for Cody Hoops driving the 7D tonight for Dawson Cox. This is the show of shows right here. This has been the best race, the entire race. Cody, or with Zach Bristol and Andrew Reinders. I'm so impressed with the job that 40 car has done tonight.
Man, Hoops is just working his way through that field. Those last 10, 15 laps, he has been a very fast race car as he cuts through the intersection for the very last time.
All right, he'll work his way through traffic. Here is the race. There is the white flag, checkered flag out right now. One more win for 2020 for Cody Hoops in the 7D. Let's see how this battle shapes up. A well-deserved 2nd spot for Zach Bristol and an extremely well-deserved 3rd place finish. We'll bring him up to our Angel of the Winds podium here in just a few minutes. We're going to take a break, and then we'll come back. But a phenomenal job by Cody Hoops in a strange car, but boy, he got comfortable with that thing real quick. All right, we're going to go to take a break. We'll be right back. Home Track Heroes here, CW11.